A little bit of the
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
As fine as the eye can see, the finest hardwoods from the finest trees. Made for your home and within your means, Baird Brothers will help fulfill your dreams. Let life and light come shining through in quiet morns. And heavy traffic, too. Find your easy-to-afford fine hardwood floors and doors and more at BairdBrothers.com.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Locally owned and operated, Sheely's relaxed shopping experience means browsing and lounging is always encouraged.
Find Flex Deal and more at Sheely's Furniture and Appliance, because the best things in life happen at home.
How lucky are we to have not one, but two 18-hole Donald Ross Championship golf courses right here in our backyards. Mill Creek Golf Course was selected by Golf Week as one of America's 30 best municipal courses, continuing to challenge golfers of all levels and featuring golf instruction by PGA professionals, a state-of-the-art practice range, a PGA of America recognized pro shop, kids programs, and a relaxing grill room for a memorable golf experience. For more information or to schedule a tee time, visit millcreekmetroparks.org.
Fall is in the air. The kids are back to school, crowds are cheering for the home team, and Myers Family Insurance is prepped for another crazy Medicare season. Every year there's changes, some big, some small, so it's important to have a conversation to make sure your plan is going to meet your expectations for the coming year. Give our team a call today to schedule your annual review.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance or visit us on the web. Check us out online at MyersFamilyINS.com.
Going from mindful to mindful sometimes requires a helping, healing hand. Insight Clinical Counseling and Wellness offers a continuum of mental health and wellness care. At Insight, we're changing the way you receive counseling and wellness services with experienced licensed clinicians and expertly trained wellness staff. With 4 locations in Mahoning and Columbiana County, along with telehealth services, Insight offers clients quick access to care when they need it. Transform your mental health and wellness at Insight Clinical Counseling and Wellness.
All right, we are back here at the Saxon Club for the YSN MVCA playoff preview. DJ Oakley with you alongside Mr. Ty Bartel, and we are joined by Coach John Bayek at this point, one of the most electrifying teams to watch this year, the Struthers Wildcats. Coach, first off, welcome. Secondly, you got to tell us, how fun is it to be the coach of this team and watching these guys play?
It's fun, man, and I think the funnest part is just watching them grow throughout the season. Obviously, we had a pretty rough start there at the beginning, and we came together, and we finally were starting to put the pieces together to the puzzle, and they are fun to watch, man, and they're fun to coach. So I'm having a heck of a time this year, and the kids are having fun.
Got a chance to talk to Chaz and Brady earlier this week, and you talk about 2 kids that really want it. I feel like what is it? Trust the climb is the motto. I mean, they've embraced it. What is it about those 3 words that this senior class especially has embraced?
I took this job a few years ago, and that's when it was the first year of COVID, and they were sophomores. So they were my first kind of like sophomore group. And every year they dealt with something new. So it was COVID. They lost their starting quarterback that year. Then they lost their starting quarterback their junior year. Then they lost their starting quarterback their senior year in our West Branch scrimmage. And I just felt like they were always fighting through things. And Trust the Climb was just that never give up mantra. Like, things are going to get tough. Things might get hard, but this senior group, they never complained. They never quit, because you don't know how kids are going to react to those types of things. And especially this year, starting 1-4, you're going to get a team that could tank and say, heck with it, or a group that fights. And I just sat down one night, and I really thought Trust the Climb was a mantra or motto for this group. And like you said, they really embraced it, and so have our younger kids. So I'm really proud of them, and they really have fought through a lot of different things. And finally this year, they are seeing the views from the top a little bit. They're finally getting there.
Coach, when we had our conversation last, you mentioned after that overtime loss to Hubbard about just talking with the kids, and you knew things were going right, but you just didn't see the results on the scoreboard. After that game against both Geneva and then Streetsboro, your defense really locked down. What did you attribute to your defense, which I say is the reason you guys have won a lot of your games? Yep. Defense has just been shutting things out. What do you attribute to the defense making that turn in the beginning of the season?
I think we were finally starting to get a little comfortable. I mean, we had 2 sophomores starting on the D-line, which is tough, especially up front. And we have Devin Bram, who's a sophomore, at inside backer. We have Robert Carcelli, who's a sophomore, at outside backer. We just have young kids all over the field. And I think they just needed a couple game experience. And Streetsboro, they played their tails off. Streetsboro's a heck of a team.
Yep.
So, I think they were finally just getting comfortable into their job. Do your job. What is your job? And they finally started understanding what they needed to do every Friday. And I agree with you. I think our defense has really stepped up to what we need them to do for us to score. And they've been playing unbelievable football. Our defensive coordinator, Mike Maeda, has done an unbelievable job with them. And just like our offense, I think our defense is just as fun to watch. So I'm really happy with the progress they've made throughout the season.
You've had an unbelievable – you talk about the mix of veterans and kind of rookies on this roster, young and old, and what is it that makes that perfect roster? Because when I look at it, you guys have almost that perfect mix of seniors and juniors, sophomores, and even freshmen that are chipping in. How do you get that experience without giving way to, how do I say, like you said, tanking it or kind of sinking it in? How do you do that?
Well, I mean, this senior class definitely has been fighters.
Sure.
And I think they showed these young guys that, first of all, Monday through Thursday, we're going to take everything as serious as possible.
It's work.
It's work. It's business. That's what we say. Everything's business. We step on the field, we're business. Locker room's fun, field's business.
Got it.
But, I think it's a great mix of, we have Brady Clyde on the line, who's our leader. We have Chaz in the secondary and a receiver who's our leader. We have Grzib, who's our leader at quarterback. We have Sanchez, who's a senior leader. We have at least one kid in every spot that can take the group of young kids, because we have more young kids playing than older kids, but we have at least one older kid that is kind of like taking their role for their position group. And I think that's really helped, especially up front. We have 2 sophomores starting on the offensive line as well. And Brady takes them under their wing. And I think that's why it's a perfect mixture. We just at least have that one older guy, veteran, who is taking the young kids under their wing and showing them the way.
Not looking back, but you always want to kind of see how this team has transpired, who you are, who your calling card is, what you hang your hat on. And you guys have basically been on the playoff hunt since week 1. Yeah. And now you're here week 11. You're part of the tournament. What does it mean to you to have that?
Man, I can't – it's really hard for me to even explain. Last night when I was watching the West Branch Salem game on the edge of my seat, because we needed that West Branch win to get a home game. But just sitting there thinking, we have the possibility of a home game. Like, if you would have told me in week 5 when we were 1-4, we were in a rough spot.
Yeah.
Like, we were all in a, like, man, this can go one of two ways. And we're hoping for the better part of that. But just for the opportunity to have a home, even if we didn't get it, just the opportunity to have a home game and what these kids and our coaching staff has done the last 6 weeks have just been unbelievable. And I'm so happy I'm a part of it. And I couldn't be more proud of our coaching staff and kids for the accomplishments we've made these last few weeks.
One of the things that I was so impressed by I called that South Range Struthers game. You could hear a pin drop on the South Range side. Was that the turning point, do you feel, for these kids?
I think they knew we had something special after that game. Trust me, they were upset we lost because we were right there, 14-13 in the fourth quarter. But I think we always, every year when I have an interview, I always say, I really want to get our program to South Range Dan Yeagley status, what he's done with that place. And they know they're a special team and a special program every year. And for us to be toe-to-toe with them to the end, we don't want to take moral victories, but we knew we had something special.
I love what you've done with this program, Coach, but there's no time to rest, right? Next Friday, week 11 is right around the corner. You're going to be hosting a pretty solid Edgewood team, it looks like, one we've gotten acclimated with over the course of the season. What are some things you're seeing in the Edgewood game, too, that might present some challenges, and how happy are you to have the Struthers faithful behind you guys as the 12th man on the field?
Well, they got a big win last week against Lakeside, and
Battle of the Bridge.
That momentum will carry over, I'm sure, to this week. But they have really good skill. I really think their quarterback's a good football player, and they have a couple receivers that are going to be tough to cover. But that right now is what's standing out to me with them. They get the ball to the guys that they should. Their coaching staff does a really good job of knowing what their strength is. So our defense got to step up and show up and try and stop those skill guys.
You're always trying to teach kids, obviously, on the field and the lessons they're trying to take away. But I got to imagine with a season like this, I mean, this isn't something that happens all the time. These kids have probably taught you a lot of things in retrospect. What are some of the biggest lessons you've taken away from the kids this season?
So one of the biggest things we talked about this last week is that I didn't realize how much I needed them for me to stay sane throughout this whole process. I'm serious, man. Like, being a new head coach, this is my third season, you don't really realize all the other things you have to deal with outside of the locker room and outside of the field. And, especially when we were 1-4, there were people talking out in the stands and things like that about our coaching staff, about me. And when you're not a head coach, you don't really hear those things. And for our kids to rally around our coaching staff and believe and trust in each other, that's what kept me in the game. And just the trust to climb, like you said, they've embraced that, and we ignored the noise and we took care of business. And that's, again, for a young group of kids to be able to do that. They really taught me that being a head coach, you need the kids just as much as you need anything else. And I'm so happy that we have this group. And like I told you last week, just for a kid to come up to you after the game and say they love you and give you a hug, and you feel the appreciation in their hug. Like, that's just the thing that I have learned, that these kids keep me going. They keep the gas in the tank for me.
Dude, you're a student of the game. You're a student of these student athletes. What do you think this moment in time means for this group of kids?
You could see it on their faces after the game on Friday, that they're just having so much fun. And that's what it's about. Like, we all want to win. We all want to make the playoffs, everything. But just the joy on their faces in the locker room after the game, and just the way they're expressing their love for football. I mean, I had kids texting me last night, what's the score of the West Branch? Like, they're so passionate. And in order to have a good football team, you got to be passionate about the game.
Yeah.
Not just yourself, not about how many touchdowns you score or you throw or tackles you make. They're just so passionate about the team. And that's what makes this group this year so special.
I love that each and every coach we talk to, it seems like the team adopts the coach from a standpoint of, how they are as a leader. I think that's why this Struthers team is so fun to watch. So congratulations on all the success. We're proud of you. We're fans.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you stopping by. Greatly appreciate
it.
John Bayek will be back right after this on your Sports Network.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, No job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Why choose local? Because you live here, work here, learn here, relax here, and celebrate here. 21 WFMJ is our Valley's only locally owned TV station, and our focus is local. Other TV stations don't have that same focus, as their owners are somewhere else. But 21 WFMJ is rooted in the Valley. Local people making decisions that affect your life, right here where you live.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local, independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the YSN MVCA Preview Classic here, live from the Saxon Club. We are joined by the head honcho of the Mineral Ridge Rams, Mr. Brian Shaner. Coach, like you've never done these before. A little bit different food, but the same old YSN with you. Thanks for stopping by, and certainly congratulations on the Week 11 invite.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here and everything you do for local football, and love being with you guys.
So let's talk right off the jump. This is a special team. I mean, I've got to meet them one-on-one. These guys want it bad. They want it bad. How special is Week 11 to the Mineral Ridge Rams this year?
Very special. I think, in the offseason, whether it was the winter or even, June or July, I don't think anyone in the area would have said Mineral Ridge was going to be 8-2 and qualifying for the playoffs. And, we believed, from day one, we knew we had a special group. With only 5 seniors, coming back from last year, you look at it and go, how are you so excited? We ask ourselves that every day, but we knew we had a special group. They lead by example. They practice really hard for us, and they believe. And like you say, they want it. They play really hard for us. And again, I would take this group every year.
This is a really, really hard-nosed identity football team because of the way they play football. You guys are one of the most physical teams that we've seen on all 67 teams on YSN. That's as a guy that's an old school football coach, that's got to make you proud hearing that.
It does. We have to be physical, and we came into this thing here at Ridge. We knew the league, and we knew that if you could play defense in this league, you give yourself a chance to win. And that's kind of been what we preach to our boys from day one. And getting someone like Coach Allen to come over here and help out with our staff and bring his determination and his fierce competitiveness. What an addition for our whole program, and our kids buy into it. We have to play physical, and it got to spill over here into Week 11. Getting Canton Central, if we don't play our style of football, they're a really good football team, and we know that they're ranked high for a reason. We have to continue to play our style of football.
That's a team that's kind of Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, you look at it, South Range beat them, and then 2 weeks later, Salem lost to them. So, they're going to be a physical team. They've got a big quarterback. But you guys, I mean, if there's any team I can put in that slot that's going to match up perfectly against a Tri-C, it's you guys. Do you feel the same way?
We do. We believe. We cannot play flat, though.
Yep.
We have to get back to our style of football. And we have to play like we know how we can play. And it starts with our defense. We have to have 11 guys that are ready to go, and we are. We're pretty healthy. They can't look at the team. They can't listen to the people say how good Canton Central is, because they are good. But we have to play our style of football, and our boys don't back down. It's a demeanor. It's a mindset. It's our style of football. It's our brand of football. And, we tell them we're going to win. We go into a game every week expecting to win that football game, and we're not going to change just because it's a team that carries a lot of hype. And I know they're carrying a lower seed, but I think they're probably the second best in our region. So, let's go out and beat the best.
I'm a true believer of, like, with young teams, experiences are the best way to teach them too. And you guys played some really close games against two very good teams in Springfield and Lowville. What do you think that the kids took away from those games that helped them in this Week 10 game against Waterloo? And do you think that pulling out that close game is beneficial for them just before the playoffs?
Yeah, we have to learn how to beat programs, and I preach that to our kids, because they are programs. The Springfield, what Guerrero does over there, year in and year out, we have to learn how to do that. We're a good football team, but we're trying to be a good football program, and that's what Springfield does year in and year out. And we saw that we can play with those guys. We have to learn how to beat those guys, and yeah, being in the close game with a 9 or 10-0 Lowville, who should make a run. And battling them the way we did, and then losing late to Springfield. Yes, a lot is learned in that kind of game. And we were tested last week. Waterloo always plays us tough. And I think our boys may have looked ahead a little bit, and maybe I didn't do as good a job to make sure that we were as sharp as we needed to be. But winning one like that, I think it refocused us, and we had a focused day on Saturday. We had good team meeting. I sat down with the boys, and we talked about what we need to do moving ahead here this week. Yeah, we're ready. I think we take a lot out of that. These guys never want to stop, so I don't want to be done week 11.
I was just going to ask you, battle tested the last end of the season there. I mean, you look at that Lowville game, you guys kept the points down against one of the best quarterbacks in the entire country. That's got to give you, and especially Coach Allen, very prideful moments there, knowing that you're going to be going against some really good quarterbacks in your region if you want to do what you want to do, and that's hoist the state championship.
Absolutely. Ballone's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He not only with that arm of his, but he is so elusive, and the way he moves in the pocket and he extends plays. We stuck to our game plan, keep trying to keep the ball away from them. And maybe I kept stuck to the game plan a little too long. Maybe I should have been more aggressive, maybe a little bit with the play call and try to get points on the board. But to beat them, you got to keep him on the sideline. And I thought our defense did a really good job against them. Because, again, he's one of the best in the state, and we're going to see one again this week. You know what I mean? And we do. We just got to keep getting better on the back end of our defense, because our front six, I think they're really, really good. We're strong in the middle. And we do. We got to play really well on the back end this week, and they just got to keep learning, because that whole back end's young. Tristan Valley's playing because of an injury back there. But, I love our defense, and we're going to hang our hat on it this week just like we have all year, and we're going to get after them.
You talked about the youth experience. I mean, what are you looking for? You always want the seniors to go out the way they want to go out, but if there's one thing that you can get your youth to experience, and this week alone, what is it?
Show up and play. This is a big moment. Again, I don't think anyone in the area thought we could be as good as we are, but live this moment. Play with everything you got, because we've done it all year.
Yeah.
Don't back down. Don't look at their jersey. Don't look at their name. Show up and play. It's kind of our mentality. We want to be that team where people says, "Oh no, you got Ridge this week." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't buy into the hype that they're a great football team. Show up and do us. And like I tell them every Friday night, I worry about us. If we take care of us, we're a really good football team, and we'll play very well.
You were bringing all kinds of fans back into the stands. The Mineral Ridge community was loud and proud for this team all season. How big are they going to be on the road going to Canton Central Catholic? How much are you going to need them to show up in full support for you guys?
We need them. You know what I mean? Our support and our backing is unbelievable. From the administration down to the community, they back us. They support us. They love that we're doing well, and they're going to be there, and I keep trying to tell everyone, that stadium's a big stadium. For you to make a dent in those stands, we're going to have a lot of people there. And I hope they're there. I hope they're loud. I hope they follow us down and they're there and watch a great football team take on an absolute animal in Canton Central.
Coach, thank you very much for stopping by. We wish you all the best of luck. You've been awesome.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be back right after this on YSN.
Hi, this is Zell Bush.
Hi, this is Tom Klim.
Hi, this is Steve Rossetto. Hi, this is Ryan Miller.
Hi, this is Rich Sakui from WRS Wealth Advisors.
With our combined 80 years of experience,
WRS Wealth Advisors are the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services.
Or visit WRSwealth.com.
Go Raiders.
Go Dogs.
Go Cats. Go Dogs. Go Tigers.
Jimmy Sudman here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and two of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
Reliability, innovation, scale. These three values are those we look forward to in our business and in our team. If you're ready for a reliable employer who looks constantly to think outside the box in big ways, we're ready for you. Apply now. Help us push the envelope and deliver success. Envelope 1. Take that one extra step.
Winter, spring, summer, and fall. Mill Creek Metro Parks is your park for all seasons. Make a memory in the park. Plan your visit today at Mill Creek Metro Parks.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
Hi, I want to tell you about my Trish Yearwood home collection available at Sheely's Furniture. With 2 locations serving Ohio and Pennsylvania, Sheely's is one of the country's top sellers of my home collection. And the best part? At Sheely's, you never have to wait for a sale. They offer everyday low pricing as well as a price match guarantee, so you can shop the Trish Yearwood home collection with confidence. Come see my collection with something to offer for every room in your home and get it all with free local delivery, only at Sheely's Furniture.
And welcome back. Well, we bumped the camera. Welcome back to YSN's coverage of the MVCA playoff preview show. DJ Oakley with you. There's Ty Bartell. Thanks, Quinn. Appreciate that. And we've got Coach Matt Altamore from the Lisbon Blue Devils. Coach, congratulations on making Week 11.
Hey, thank you, DJ. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it absolutely is exciting. And one of the most exciting things is there was an unknown around Lisbon this year. And I think that you knew what you had in that locker room, and you knew what you could achieve, and everybody in that locker room knew that you guys could get to Week 11 and beyond if everybody worked and things worked out and you stayed healthy. Talk to me about the identity of this team. It has been phenomenal.
Sure. You know, the identity is, first of all, we've got youth on our side, and it's good to have because, you know, we're experiencing a lot of things for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these kids are experiencing playoffs for the first time. That's kind of our identity right now is each week we're trying to just fight each and every week and try to get better each week. And, we're scrappy, and that's good. And I like that, each week we're approaching. We're not looking ahead. We don't look behind, and we're just kind of scrap through and, give our best effort each week.
I mean, that's the Lisbon way, right? How it's always been. You guys scrappy as all get outs. According to our math, you have the longest bus trip coming up on this Friday. And I feel like, was it COVID year? You guys had kind of the same deal?
Yes. In the COVID year, we opted into the playoffs and we played Plymouth, who is actually in the same league as Norwalk St. Paul. So it's right around the same area. So, but that's about all I can tell you. It is a far trip,
What are some benefits from that? I mean, everybody looks at, okay, if it's a 2 hours and 45 minutes, that's a long way. Yes. But people don't talk about nearly enough the memories that are made on those bus rides home and away and why it's so important for these kids to have those rides.
Sure. You're exactly right. And hammer that point home a little bit. We're going this week. We're giving a little extra time in the locker room to hang out with each other. We're going to do a little bit of just some extra stuff, so they can enjoy at least one more week with each other and being part of that bond that is, a high school football team that, our seniors might not ever get to experience again. So, yeah, the bus ride, playing in a different place is unique also. And, we look at it as hopefully it's going to help in the future, because, if you're going to play in the playoffs and you're going to advance in the playoffs, you're going to have to make some bus trips. So, hopefully we can get some experience with that one, I guess, is the positive to look at.
I love it.
When you're going on the road, obviously you got to deal with the home crowd of the home team too, and you got to deal with them being a little bit favored in that one. But for these kind of coaches, I talk to all the coaches. They always say they focus on what they can do, focus on their team, what they can fix on themselves. So in saying that, what do the Lisbon Blue Devils need to focus on themselves going into this Friday game to emerge victorious on the road?
Sure. We have to approach it like it's any other game. First of all, we can't get caught up on any kind of hoopla with it being a long trip or, what time's the pep rally on Friday? Is there going to be, a group send off and, all that stuff? Because, there's a lot of work that comes into, as all these coaches, I'm sure not just me has said, that come into preparation for each week. And and the kids have put a lot of time in, film study, giving good effort to practice, making sure their grades are okay, so they don't get caught in study tables. So, that's the fine line is we want to make sure they're rewarded and we appreciate them and we're proud of them for advancing the playoffs for the first time since 2017. But yet it's still a business trip and we have some work to do.
You mentioned first time since 2017. Nobody really counts the COVID year because everybody kind of got in. But when you think about that, there's kind of a special moment there. I'm sure you've already kind of told your kids because everybody experiences the playoffs a little bit different because some people expect it, some people fight for it, some people never see it. You've been here a long time doing this thing, a long, long time. It's been in your family for a long, long time. What's the number one message that you're pitching to the kids this week?
Enjoy the moment, and that's what we've been trying to, preach all year, enjoy the moment and embrace it. And, if we do that, because, right now, making the playoffs this first year, you're right, it wasn't expected.
Mm-hmm.
We expected it, but it's not expected, years coaching with my dad and myself at Leetonia, it's a disappointment if we finished in 9th or 10th in the region and couldn't make it. So we're trying to get to that point. And, we try to keep the kids grounded to know that, you can't go from 0 to 100 right away. And, we have to get to this point to where it is expected next year, to where it is expected year down the road. This is where we need our program to go. And this is a step we need to take to get there.
It seems like you have plenty of young kids that are willing to step into those roles when they're available to them. You're not looking around saying who's next. The kids are saying I'm next on this team. What is that like having so many young, hungry kids when that opportunity presents itself that they're ready to step in and ready to fill that role and say, I'm here for it, coach?
And that's been a fun part about this year is we're very young. We don't play very many seniors at all. We have 4 on the roster and, start 3 at times. And, so we're mostly juniors and sophomores, but, a lot of people don't realize we've started 4 freshmen for most of the year.
Yeah.
And that's what the fun part about that is because you never know how freshmen are going to react, and sometimes you're playing youth because they're going to be pretty good and because they're good, or sometimes you play youth because you have no one else. And we're fortunate that the youth that we are playing are kids that have a lot of potential and we're looking forward to great things from them, not only this week, but, down the road.
From a standpoint of being around all these coaches, the guys you've known for a very long time, some coaches new to the dance, coming to the playoffs for the first time, and some that have been here for years. Where do you fit in now? You're kind of like that cagey veteran, but you're still the young guy a little bit.
Yeah, that is funny. Until Coach Dempster joined the league this year as Palestine's coach, I was still the youngest coach in the league there.
That's nuts.
Which is interesting. And I think that, I don't know, maybe Coach Dempster does have me. I don't know. I'm still there. But, it is fortunate because being here and talking to all these guys, because you get a chance to see them. And football season's so busy. And, over all these years, you develop a bond, unspoken and spoken, with some of these coaches. And being fortunate part of growing up with my dad, knowing some of these older guys here, I've known them for a long time. So, it is something that's fun to sit with, knowing that we're all trying to accomplish the same thing. And just maybe sometimes we do it a little bit different ways, but it's a neat bond.
Have any of these guys come up to you yet and asked you for tips on what to expect in week 11?
Yeah, we've been talking and going back and forth. Right now it's Sunday, so we're going back and forth on talking about either how good we are, or as a team, the coaches are, or how good the opponent is.
Yeah,
that is. But we're sharing some secrets, some tips. Especially over wings and pizza. You can't argue with that.
No better way.
That's where the best work gets done.
When you guys are on the road too, I always want to give the opportunity for you to call out the community. And this is a Lisbon community that has been one of the most, I think, impressive communities in the last few years, and how much you guys just rally around each other for everything too. Talk about this Lisbon community, how special this is to have this playoff game, and how important it's going to be to have them in attendance on Friday night.
You're right. The Lisbon community is special community. The people there, they take care of each other. And I would be given a disservice if I said, hey, they just love football. They do love football, but mostly the community loves their kids, and they love their community. And, we are very fortunate that we get to experience that because, coaching football and coaching the kids. So they do take care of football very, very well. They love their football. But I think the biggest thing is they love their town. They love the community. And it's great to have that little close-knit town, 2,000 people that just still care, and it's special. It's a special place down there, that's for sure.
Coach, we can't thank you enough. We can't root for you enough, and everything that you do for us. It's been fun, and we can't wait to root for you on Friday. Good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You got it. We'll be back right after this on YSN.
Hi, this is Zell Bush.
Hi, this is Tom Klim.
Hi, this is Steve Versetto.
Hi, this is Ryan Miller.
Hi, this is Rich Sakui from WRS Wealth Advisors.
With our combined 80 years of experience,
WRS Wealth Advisors are the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services.
Or visit WRSwealth.com.
Go Raiders.
Go Dogs.
Go Cats. Go Dogs. Go Tigers.
Jimmy Sudman here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and two of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
Reliability, innovation, scale. These three values are those we look forward to in our business and in our team. If you're ready for a reliable employer who looks constantly to think outside the box in big ways, we're ready for you. Apply now. Help us push the envelope and deliver success. Envelope 1. Take that one extra step.
Winter, spring, summer, and fall. Mill Creek Metro Parks is your park for all seasons. Make a memory in the park. Plan your visit today at millcreekmetroparks.org.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Saxon Club, home of the second annual YSN MVCA playoff preview show here on the network. We are joined right now by a guy that needs no introduction, but we'll give you a banner anyway because that's how we do things. Tom Pavlansky, Coach, welcome in Appreciate you.
Thank
Welcome to
Thank
week
you.
11, my friend.
Yeah, hard to believe. Just every season tells its own story, and it just seems like it just goes so fast. It goes so fast. Week one just seems so long ago, and we're just trying to soak up each day right now.
I feel like this is a tale of two teams. The team that started the season and the team that ended the season. You guys got stronger as the season went along and impressed and just incredibly dazzled as the season went along. What happened throughout the season to get these kids to buy in at the end of the season? Not that they didn't in the beginning, but it seemed like once there was a belief, it kicked in and the focus was dialed in better than ever.
Well, I think more than anything, we just had a sense of urgency.
Okay.
With each day, we had 7 playoff teams on our schedule.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and if you're not locked in and ready to go each day, you're going to have your hands full. We're fortunate at Poland. We got really good kids. Outstanding young men. I'm blessed to have an exceptional staff. They try to go about doing things the right way and maintain the expectations every day. And the kids have worked hard. And like during football, hey, you're going to face adversity. You're going to get knocked down, and we got to bounce back up. And whether it be injuries here or there or whatever it may be, you got to learn how to fight through that and to fight through that together. And I think our kids have done a real, admirable job here. And hey, we earned to get to week 11. We're not apologizing. We earned to get to week 11, and we're excited to go play.
And it's well earned. And people have asked me, okay, what one word describes this team? And when they ask me about Poland, I say resilient, because you guys never threw in the towel. You never gave up. The injuries that you went through, it was an emotional roller coaster for you this year. What word comes to mind when I say, what does the class of 2022 football team, what do they represent to you?
They've been determined. One of the words we threw out there yesterday or the other day was resolute.
Yep.
I really they have been. They've been determined each and every single day. Starting with the senior class. Their efforts and each day have been a real good example for our younger guys to learn from. And but also again, we got a big junior class, a lot of athletes in there, a lot of kids. They've been working hard too, and and they get this year was their first taste of varsity football for the most part. And they got baptized by fire, going against Cheney and going down and getting a good hard fought win down at a strong historical program like Louisville week 2, and then and then Canfield, and then we got ready for the league, and so they learned quick, and they got to experience it real fast, and right now hopefully it pays dividends here going to week 11.
With all the playoff teams that are on your schedule, the one glaring difference between the first 5 weeks and the second 5 weeks, points allowed by your defense. And that's the Poland way. We know Poland always plays a strong, aggressive style of defense. What were the talks like, and what was the, transition like to get back to that Poland style of defense in the second half?
You know what? I think our kids take a lot of pride. Our kids take a lot of pride, and they know what came before them. And, they want to live up to those expectations. And because they know that they're not going to change. You got to pee on your helmet there, and you're a Poland Bulldog. Those expectations will not change at all. And, and going into the year, we didn't have one returning starter last year at that position where they played this year, so, we thought we had a really good summer and that, but you don't ever know really what's going to happen until you line up, week 1 and get hit. And, where we got to change plans here or there or whatever it may be. But I thought our kids kept working, kept faith, kept believing in each other. And, I said the last half of the year, I think defensively, we certainly have gotten better. And, and we need to play our best game on Friday night.
I feel like we've talked about it each and every year since the NE8's been around. But the NE8 is kind of a premier league, but it's also a gauntlet of a schedule. But it prepares you for times like these, the week 11s, week 12s, and so on. Talk about your league and talk about how the kids, any given Friday night, you're seeing teams win and it doesn't matter how much tape you watch necessarily. It's what team wants to show up on that Friday night.
Yeah, the Northeast 8, we got 6 playoff teams. And, if you weren't ready to play that week, each week and every single week, you were going to get your lunch handed to you.
Yeah.
And, if you didn't have a good week practicing, a good daily work ethic, then, you're going to have some serious problems on a Friday night. The league is too talented. It's too well coached that, you can't cut corners. You cannot cut corners. And, and I guess, from our standpoint, again, for a young team, it was some tough lessons sometimes, and, And so hopefully we can use those lessons here to help make ourselves better here for week 11, but also for down the road.
Talked about those tough league opponents. You got the draw of a league opponent in the Jefferson Falcons again in the playoffs. From a coaching perspective, when you play a team twice in a season, the book's already out. You kind of know everything each other is running. What does that go like for you going into that game?
That is a great question. And, we talked about that this morning as a staff. My coaching career, in 2013, we played Struthers week 2, and then we played them again week 11. And, it was two totally different teams, from our standpoint, for sure, out at Lakeview. And, and this year, playing Jefferson week 9 and now quick turnaround playing in week 11, there's really not many differences. And, we're fortunate to have some guys that pull on our staff and Ryan Williams and Luke Skinner, who are part of the 2019 staff that played Struthers week 10 and played them again week 11. So we compared notes and, and talked. And I think the biggest thing, we got to make sure we just focus on us.
Yeah.
We got to focus on us and make sure we do the things that give our kids the best opportunity for success. And, try not to overthink it at all. It's just, football is a simple game. Offensively, hey, you got to get 10 yards in 3 plays, or 4 plays. And defensively, hey, let's stop the run first. Let's stop the run first. Let's try to make them be one-dimensional, and then special team-wise, hey, let's just execute all the kicks. Let's try to win that one-play possession on the special teams phases. And, you do that with a sense of urgency and a sense of togetherness, then, it doesn't matter who you play and how many times you play them or back-to-back, whatever, then you're going to have a chance to win the game in the fourth quarter.
I talked to Coach Yeagley a couple weeks ago, and he made mention about how much he watches his team as opposed to necessarily always the other team on tape. When you play a team like this in week 9 and then week 11, do you focus more on your guys and what you did right and wrong as opposed to what they did right and wrong?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I do. We focus on ourselves and really study it. And again, in all phases of the game, just trying to see where we can improve, where we can improve. And, we do that, then, we're going to find ourselves in the best opportunity or best situation for success, when we need it.
Sure. It's a long bus ride up to Ashtabula County, but you guys are used to it. But we just talked with Coach Altamore. He's another one that has to go on a long bus ride. How do you guys flip that and use that to your advantage to get yourself honed in?
Well, you know what? During the season, we had a long road trip down to Louisville. And, anytime we have a long trip on the road, because we usually try to have one during the season. And we tell, okay, kids, guys, this is a week 11, playoff game. This might happen. And let's make sure that, we're paying attention to detail on what we're doing. And we try to use that as a learning experience. And you said we had a lot of kids back from last year's team in terms of, traveling a long distance, where last year we had to go down to Fairless week 11, which was an hour and a half, 45-minute drive at least. And, and so hopefully they can, draw on those experiences. And that again, will give us the best chance for success this Friday night.
As much as I love talking X's and O's with you, I got to ask you, that's the last question. How's my boy Steven doing?
Steven's doing just fine. Yeah, I don't know if he's listening right now or not, but we send our best, Steven. He's doing well. He's got one more week of class and then finals coming up, so hopefully he's got his shoes tied tight, ready to roll next week, but he's doing really well. Thanks for asking.
Absolutely. You're a legend. We appreciate you spending some time with us. Good luck on Friday, and we'll be watching and rooting for you.
Thanks, DJ. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Sam.
Coach Pavlansky on his way out. We'll be back with more right after this on the YSN Playoff Preview Show right here on the network.
It means the world to me to know that what we're doing is impacting people. And whether it's simply I got to watch my son or daughter when I was out of town, or we just love watching YSN. We love what you do for our son or daughter. So whenever someone says thank you or someone is appreciative of what we're doing, it tells me everyone at YSN is doing what we initially set out to do, which is shine a light on these athletes and help them kind of promote themselves. My name is Anthony Hartwig, and my sports network is your sports network.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update. Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
As fine as the eye can see, the finest hardwoods from the finest trees.
Made for your home and within your means, Baird Brothers will help fulfill your dreams. Let life and light come shining through in quiet morns. And heavy traffic, too. Find your easy-to-afford fine hardwood floors and doors and more at BairdBrothers.com.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
And welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to the YSN MVCA Playoff Preview Show, live from the Saxon Club. At this time, we'd like to welcome in a guy that you may or may not know. He may or may not have pissed off the FCC the last time he was on this network. Do you remember that?
No, was that bad?
No. You remember? Do you just remember we mic'd you up for
that
the
was
game?
bad.
That
I'm
was
sorry.
rough. That was rough.
I'll never do that again.
No, you'll do it always.
No, I will not.
There was
That
a
was
ton
a
of
little
people that love that. Sean Guerrero, Springfield Tiger football. You may know him. You've been on this a couple times. This is a different team this year, obviously. I mean, we've talked about it at length, at nauseum at this point. But there was some guy, probably I'm going to say 5'5", but we all know that's a lie, 5'4.5", that called at the 0-4 mark, Springfield's going to win out. That was this guy right here. And Sean Guerrero, I've never stopped believing in you. Congratulations. Getting to week 11. I mean, you guys, your kids, the buy-in of well, we lost Bo, we lost this person, we lost that person. Doesn't matter. 6-4, you're sitting here in your week 11, and you know as well as anybody that if you got a chip in a chair, you got a chance.
Well, I think right now our kids have been fighting, and going into the season, we knew those first 4 games were going to be tough for us. So just for us to continue to get better, I couldn't give more credit to our seniors because you talk about the buy-in. It's been those guys that kind of been holding us together because with the success that we had, I thought it was rough. You know what I mean, going through that, and there was some times in some games where I thought we were hanging in there, and we're doing some productive things, but whether it was turnovers or missed tackles or all that, you know what I mean, all the little stuff that you preach and you practice week to week wasn't coming for us. So I felt like our kids right now, past couple of weeks, I do not think we're the same team we were, you know what I mean, 6 weeks ago. And I give a lot of credit to our kids of keep fighting and keep practicing, and it's been a challenge, but I think our kids are ready for the playoffs now.
What's the motto this year? I mean, what have you guys adopted as like this is what we're going to live by?
Well, I don't know if there's a motto with that, but we do talk about that every week. I mean, even going into last week, week 10, last home game with Sebring, I just feel like, guys, I mean, we're a week away. My kind of pregame speech, we're a week away from not knowing if we're going to have another game or you're only going to be, limited to 4 quarters. So our kids, I think, have grown up. I think our kids have gained a lot of experience. I've seen a lot of things. And I just feel like right now that we're kind of hitting our stride when we should, you know what I mean, going into week 11. So I feel positive. I count my blessings. We got a home game. We're not traveling. So we kind of snuck in. Have another home game, have another chance for our seniors to play. I just feel very fortunate right now, of where we're at.
I've always talked about you and your staff being some of the best to make adjustments in mid-game or mid-season, whatever it is. Your staff has been dialed in. I mean, you guys have been putting in the extra hours, I know, and I know you're a guy that gives all the credit to your staff as always. I mean, these guys have been putting it in to get where they want to go, and now you're here, and you still have that Springfield stigma to you. I mean, people still look at you and say, I don't want to play them. I don't want to play them. How does that make you feel?
Well, I don't know about that because I look at ourselves and I look about what we need to improve on. I mean, last week was something that's all we talked about is how can we improve. It's more about us than it's about anything to get ready. So when going into week 10 and again playing Sebring, who with the adjustment they made, again, I think next year going to AMF football is a good thing for them. But for us, it was what can we do and how can we get better the last week to make sure. And I feel like like I said, our kids have bought into that to continuing getting better. And it's all three phases of it. You know what I mean? We've had some devastating injuries. Week 3, we lost Kason Kosick, who was our starting running back, starting outside linebacker, safety. He was our kicker. And over the past 6 weeks, we developed another kid who's had a kid today, Hayden Pavlock, who was at the school before 8 o'clock, and hey, can I get some extra kicks in? So those kids have kind of bought in. So we're not the same team, special team wise, that we were. Defensively, we had to make some moves. We had another senior, Austin First, who I think this will be the 5th week that he's been out. He tore his ACL, both MCLs, and they actually released him. He's going to try to play this week 11 and play defense. So. He's been run. Last week he was in full pads and he was running with our team. No contact, but he's released on Monday. The doctors are going to let him play, which is a huge lift. So if we can get 20, 30 plays, 40 plays out of him, and then maybe next week if we're fortunate enough to win, if we can get him back, playing a little bit of offense, that'll be a bonus for us. But again, I feel right now, and I've talked to the kids all summer about we don't have to be our best team week, 1, 2, and 3 and 4. And I feel like we're really getting there. I feel like you find out where your kids are at and what you need to do. And we've moved kids around. I talked to Vinny Woods, who's a senior, who's been a 2-year starter for us. Cripes, he was our fullback last year. We moved him to tight end at the beginning of the season. Now he's kind of lining up everywhere, whether it's tight end, fullback, wingback, so tailback, he can line up it. So there's different things that we've done where you get those moving pieces, and as your team grows and the success that you have, or you kind of find out about your kids, I think we've got our kids in the right spots, and we're going to give it heck the next couple weeks here if we can continue this thing, and make it happen.
First half of the season, you dropped games to some really good teams. Only 4 losses combined to the teams you dropped games to, so really good teams on that end. But after that loss to Lowville is one I'm curious about, because obviously the kids have to execute to turn the season around. But as a coach, you sit down with your kids after that game. What were the conversations like? What caused that shift in momentum and allowed them to execute going forward and get you guys to this point where you are right now?
Well, going into that, everybody talks about the first 4 games. It was like a letdown. Ridge is a good football team. Coach Shaner's done a great job with them. For our kids to fight through that battle, going into that. And again, I preached all summer about the tough schedule that we had going into those, those first 3 non-conference games, knowing that South Range had everybody back, Brookfield had everybody back, Geneva had everybody back. And it's you go through there, and it's just more the expectations that you have with your kids, and what you want. So once we were able to get out of that, we were fortunate enough. We scored with, I think it was probably under a minute or 2 going into the Ridge game, where we were able to put a score on there. We had a senior with Cade Clankhorn, who came up with a huge catch. At the end of the game and was able to do it, so we capitalized, but. I felt like at that point we were mostly running the football, but I think Colton threw for 250 that game, which was another positive for us, because with a young quarterback and following Bo, I think it definitely has to be a tough position for him, but he's grown over the season, and we've learned from our mistakes, and we're trying to learn from our mistakes. So he's definitely progressed through the season. So offensively, it's something that's just kind of been a work in progress, again, to put our kids in a good decision, and then defensively. We had to make some adjustments for those 2 injuries, and we got kids playing out. We had a couple kids that have stepped in, and right now, it's moving in the right direction. I'm proud of how they handled the adversity, and that's what you're talking. It's kind of the next man up mentality.
There's a little bit of a difference going into this postseason than there has been in the last 3 or 4, right? So you've got D7, number 1. You're down a division. Also, you're going in with 4 losses. I don't want to say what's the mentality, but like, how do you coach differently from that perspective? Because I feel like you were the underdog, and you and I talked about underdogs versus the favorite early on in this season, and you embraced the underdog role. Now you're the underdog going into the playoffs, but you got a first-round home game. So how do you keep that underdog?
Again, we looked into the playoffs, and we're kind of trying to figure out where we're going.
Yeah.
How we're traveling, and Lucas was in there, or Toronto. We're looking at it, maybe an hour, 2-hour bus drive. Then we were kind of talking on Friday night and Saturday morning with our guys and be like, 6 years ago, we would have been counting our blessings, you know what I mean, to make it to the playoffs. So you got to make sure that you're grateful, and the kids got to understand that. We've just been at a time in Springfield where we've had great athletes, and we've been fortunate to be in position we are. But you just got to take a step back and make sure, you know what I mean, to get a home game again. And again, for week 10, our crowd was great on Friday.
They're always great.
Great on Friday for the last one. So I just feel fortunate enough that we're going to be having another home game, and just to talk and the text and people that are coming back. I know that we're going to have a pack house on Friday, and it'll be awesome for our kids to have that experience again. And again, you talk about that chip. Our kids are, I don't want to say that they're mad or they're pissed off, but I mean, them first 4 games are still kind of, I mean, we had a penalty going to the Brookfield game where we could have been, 12-7 going into, or 12-8 going into into halftime, where it makes it a different game. And we came out, and I thought we played a good second half. During the Geneva game, we had a couple mishaps where we let some go. So there's some things where our kids are still not happy with the way they played. So our kids right now are definitely going to support that underdog role, and we're going to be ready. Come that first whistle on Friday, our kids will be fired up and ready to go, and we're going to give this thing our all.
I mean, you came back into this season too. New Middletown showed up not only for week 10, every single week. I mean, they still pack the stands. What does that mean to you as a coach, that you've created a culture, a program that keeps these fans, keeps these parents wanting to come back, not just the kids, but the whole community wanting to come back, see what you guys put out on the football field, no matter what it looks like before the season?
Well, you say I created that, and I didn't. So it's not, that's definitely not me. But I think from top to bottom, when you talk about even our school administration, our band, our cheerleaders, even the other sports right now. I know for us, we have a playoff soccer game on Monday that our girls are going to play, and then we got a home game. I think Mooney's coming on Monday, so we're going to try to, make sure our kids, try to cheer those girls on. So it's just the community itself at that basis, and again with the administration and supporting, sports and athletics, I think is important for the kids right now. It's just not all. I shouldn't say it's just not about athletics, but it is about academics, and I think our kids are very well rounded. School's important to them, so just to have the atmosphere overall, Springfield is a great place. I've been very fortunate to be hired here and be here for this is my 16th season, so I'm just happy. I'm here at a good time, and again, I couldn't say enough about my coaching staff. Like I said this morning, we find out for sure that we were playing Matthews. Last night after the Toronto game, but my staff's ready to go. We were. I think there was six of us in the office by 8 a.m. today, and we're ready to work, and we want to put our kids in the best situation we can to come out with a victory.
Taking a peek at Matthews, do they remind you of anybody on tape that you've already played this season?
Well, you try to compare them and not, but I think they're good up front. They play hard. I think they might be a little bit quicker than some of the teams that we faced with their D line. They run to the football well, and then always when you got to face the wing tee, you never know. So they run the wing tee. So we just got to make sure, and we'll start preaching, we come tomorrow, that we just got to make sure our kids on defense are not doing too much. They just got to make sure that they take care of either their gap or their roll, or make sure their eyes, and they can't try to do too much. And I think our kids even have kind of realized that we can't be selfish and see who's making all the tackles or doing that. We just got to do our job and make sure we get them off the field. And hopefully, I think right now, I've been very pleased with our running game. It starts right now, and it's another reminder. We talked about going to the playoffs and stuff with Cary. You go into it where there's 4 inches of snow. So we definitely got to be able to make sure that we can run the football coming in these next couple of weeks. Which which is going to be for us is kind of. I think Ryan Carcelli's 30 yards away from 1,000. Dante Gentile has done a great job. Vinny Woods is in the mix there. So between those 3 backs, we've done a great job of starting that ground game. And I think our linemen have progressed over the past. 8 to 7 weeks. So
sure.
We're ready to go for the time. And I know it's beautiful now, but hopefully we'll get some crappy weather. We get all these 5 wide teams can't pass the ball, and we can just grind it out on them.
It's going to be fun.
You mentioned the defense too. And the last few weeks they've been looking really good too. A couple shutouts and only allowed 1 score, a couple games too. What was the defensive turnaround looking like after that Lowville game? Because, I know Vinny Ballone is Vinny Ballone. He's going to score in bunches too. But you guys have really locked in as a defensive unit, and it seems like you guys are playing together as one now. What do you attribute to that?
I think with that, in the Geneva game, we lost, Case and Kosick, who was the backouts. Well, then we had to put some, you finally think you're getting a groove, then you lose him, and then you move guys to try to. I mean, so we had 2 guys out of position. Then Austin got hurt. You know what I mean? Week 5, I think it was, and then you got to move people. So I just think right now we're getting comfortable, and kids have been able to get reps over the past couple of weeks, and they feel comfortable in what we're doing. And it still comes down for us to making sure that our line's trying to eat up double teams, and we let our linebackers run, and our secondary, you know what I mean, take care of whether we're in man or zone, and just make sure we run to the football. And our kids have bought into that. You know what I mean, this year, at least just getting comfortable in what we're doing is realistically what I think it comes down to.
Coach G, we appreciate you as always.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Me especially. I love hanging out with you. I might go home with you, hang out, have a couple daddy pops.
He looks good
brother.
right now.
Look at you. You look like you ran today.
No, I did not.
Coach Guerrero from Springfield. We'll be back just a moment right here on your Sports Network.
Locally owned and operated, Sheely's relaxed shopping experience means browsing and lounging is always encouraged.
Find Flex Deal and more at Sheely's Furniture and Appliance, because the best things in life happen at home.
How lucky are we to have not one, but 2 18-hole Donald Ross Championship golf courses right here in our backyards. Mill Creek Golf Course was selected by Golf Week as one of America's 30 best municipal courses, continuing to challenge golfers of all levels and featuring golf instruction by PGA professionals, a state-of-the-art practice range, a PGA of America recognized pro shop, kids programs, and a relaxing grill room for a memorable golf experience. For more information or to schedule a tee time, visit millcreekmetroparks.org.
Fall is in the air. The kids are back to school, crowds are cheering for the home team, and Myers Family Insurance is prepped for another crazy Medicare season. Every year there's changes, some big, some small, so it's important to have a conversation to make sure your plan is going to meet your expectations for the coming year. Give our team a call today to schedule your annual review.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance or visit us on the web. Check us out online at myersfamilyins.com.
Going from mindful to mindful sometimes requires a helping, healing hand. Insight Clinical Counseling and Wellness offers a continuum of mental health and wellness care. At Insight, we're changing the way you receive counseling and wellness services with experienced licensed clinicians and expertly trained wellness staff. With 4 locations in Mahoning and Columbiana County, along with telehealth services, Insight offers clients quick access to care when they need it. Transform your mental health and wellness at Insight Clinical Counseling and Wellness.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You might know this guy to my left. He's had a pretty successful career over the course of the last few years. Fitch Football's very own TJ Parker. TJ, it feels like forever when you and your staff came to YSN, sat down in the studio, and we were talking about what could be, and you have accomplished all that and more of it in your first couple of years. What has it been? It had to be a whirlwind for you over the last couple of years to get things started and turn around this program to what it is now, which everybody looks at it and they go, don't want it, don't want none. What has it been like for you?
It's been crazy.
I bet.
It's been crazy, but, I think the support of my staff and the kids, the buy-in was there, administration, then my family at home. There's been some rough times, there wasn't all easy waters, but just a bunch of resilient people who really care about the program and care about its success, and then kids who buy in. I think that's what's been most special, and then they're now seeing the result of that in 3 years and adversity. It's been crazy, but it's been fun.
I haven't had the opportunity to call it like Ty has. I mean, the voice of the Falcons over there.
Oh, yeah.
But watching this season progress, your kids, I think more than most, have battled adversity, whether it's injuries or illness or stuff that is off the field that trickles on the. As a leader, how do you handle that and keep your kids focused when everything around them feels like it's crumbling down?
Yeah, I think it starts with like the culture, and that there's things that need to be corrected with that, but the culture of the kids and what them accomplishing goals are, like we joke a lot that just like when we get to Friday night, we know who's going to show up, and everything goes off the table, and their minds are clear. And then it just happens, and it's special, and the kids care about each other, all of that. And there's all outside distractions when you have so much talent, which we believe we do. And then, like you're mentioning, injuries. We've been here now 3 years, and 3 years in a row, we probably lose like what could be possibly the MVP of our team in all 3 of those years to injury. And I think seeing it happen firsthand, and now these kids, like this year was just like losing Deshaun. Kid had one heck of a year, just a real special year. And then our kids are just like, okay, we're going to pick up Deshaun, but let's just go. And I think Friday night was kind of like that moment. Senior night, we had talked about it, and make no mistakes about it. Like Warren Harding, they're a very, very good football team. And when you go down their schedule, they're scary, and they have some scary players with Dallas Jett and the Powell kid at running back. And I thought our kids just came out and fought and just played excellently and for each other. And that they're kind of getting that and understanding that. And when you get a whole group of people who become selfless in your program, what they can accomplish as a team is you're seeing the product of that.
After Deshaun got injured, I said, it's a tough blow for them, but I said, no matter what, Cam Smith stepping into that point, you could debate talent-wise all you want. Cam Smith has the head on his shoulders to step into that role. From a leadership standpoint and from just his role as a leader on that team, what do you say about him stepping into that quarterback role and taking over that role going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think for the first time, like when Devin got injured his his junior year, our first year, and then we had to adapt some things with the offense, and then late in the season when it got really bad, you had to turn to Cam a little bit, and that was scary. The first thoughts are not what can he accomplish, what Devin can accomplish. No, the first thoughts are you're dealing with the sophomore kid here, and you're putting him in that. You're worried about all of that. This year, when Deshaun went down and Cam stepped in the huddle, it was right away. It was his leadership that you felt. And Deshaun manned the huddle, as good as anyone. But having Cam in there, he's like, guys, I've been here. We're going to be okay. And that's calming. And then now you're just working with him, developing as a quarterback inside of our offense. We don't have to worry about any of that or his comfortability. He's out there. He's just a gamer now, and it's nothing to him. And he actually, I think it takes a lot of pressure off of him. I honestly believe that because now he has the ball in his hands. He doesn't feel pressured, as the recruit he is, like he constantly has to make plays. He doesn't. Now the ball comes to him and he has to distribute. And I think the type of person he is and his personality and leadership, he's that type of kid. He likes having control and doing with the ball what's supposed to be done and making everyone involved, and then him making his plays when that time comes. So I think that calming with him in there has been what you saw last week and what you'll continue to see throughout the playoffs.
From a standpoint of adversity, we talked about it with, what's going on the field, but I feel like you guys, every time that someone can kind of poke the bear a little bit, they do it. To me, one of the tougher draws of everybody in the YSN family is Austintown Fitch. When you're sitting there and I'm sure, because I know the kind of guy you are, on Friday night after the game, you got 6 laptops open like I do. One's watching film, the other one's watching Joe Idol and the Fantastic 50 and trying to line up where you're going to go. When you saw kind of things come together, what was your first thought process of, come on, man?
It's always that. Before the draw, before Friday night, I said, guys, I know our luck. Arding's going to show up here with their hair on fire. They're going to give us a game. We'll probably see him in the first round again. Like that's what I thought. But, we took care of business and kind of avoided that. But it's just something we're used to. And the one thing that I think our schedules prepared us for that. Like there wasn't a lull in the schedule one time where we said, okay, if we do what we're supposed to do and execute, this should be an easy victory.
No breathing room.
Yes. I think every victory that we kind of separate ourselves in, I left as, wow, we played really good tonight. We exploited them in ways I didn't think we would, and I was impressed with the way we played. There wasn't one where I said, okay, let's just take care of business and get out of here early. Never. So I think our schedules prepared us for that and kind of, hey, it's not the best draw, but it ain't the worst draw. And eventually we're going to have to win games to win it all. Yeah, we're going to have to play all the teams anyway. It's just a little harder path, and I guess we kind of enjoy that, I guess. It's part of us.
Talk about so many supreme athletes. We talked about Deshaun and Cam. I mean, other guys, Josh Fitzgerald, Xavier, Don, Brian Robinson. I mean, Robinson coming back this week. You talk about all these big egos and these big names, D1 offer athletes, but they don't let that ego kind of get in the way and let that kind of separate the team. They still find ways to be involved with the community, go to the youth games, and be involved directly with other athletics. What does that mean to you as a coach in a team full of guys that can have big egos that they decide not to and decide rather to use it for the team and for the community?
Yeah, I think it's all a learning and a growing process. Like these kids, a lot of these kids were, superstars, and they're all used to scoring touchdowns. And when you start adding all the grades together, it's, I would challenge anyone to find a better running back duo than Jamel James and DJ Williams. You just don't see it. And both of them are on the same team. If you take one of their stats and pile it into one, now that's pretty hard to do at our level,
Sure.
Eating up those carries every week, something's bound to happen. Yeah. But DJ breaks the single game rushing record and goes for 301. The very next week, Jamel James scores 5 touchdowns and breaks our single game touchdown record. You have those two, right? And then you go on the outside and you have receivers in Dan Evans, Jaden Neely, and Dan Evans, Jaden Neely, Cam Smith was out there, Dom Perry, and you're looking at things and you're like, how do you get the ball to all these guys? And it's hard. But what I'm most impressed with, and we've said this, as they grow, as they're in the community, as they join together, the best play from Friday night, Dan Evans catches a little short out and he's tiptoeing down the sidelines. Dom Perry peels back, takes out 3 Warren defenders himself. Dan Evans scores. And at that moment, it could have been just about Dan Evans scoring. He scores, celebrates with the team, runs around on the sidelines, runs right up to Dom Perry, and they hug each other. And it was like, Dom felt there that he had an impact on that touchdown, and Dan let him know that he did. And those are the moments that, maybe you don't see at the beginning of the year because people are fighting for what's theirs. You're getting all these personalities every year together. Hey, here's how it's good. That you start to see as they grow. And I think that is what's most rewarding to me as a coach. Like where we are now, where these kids are, maybe what you've seen, it's like they're growing, and that's what, I kind of love. That's the challenge that I accept. And leaders are forming, and you're seeing good things happen, and they're being rewarded. And I just hope they continue that path.
What I think is fun is every coach has kind of a different – each year is like its own kid, right, as a dad. What makes this year's team so different and more, I think, more successful to this point? Is it the chip on their shoulder? Because you guys got a big chip on your shoulder, always do. But this one's significant, and it's we were in there against the Tigers. We were in every other game. You handled your business. What is it about this team that you go, guys, this could be the year?
I think it goes a little bit back to what Ty said. Like, there is egos, and inside, those kids are very confident in being the best. And, if there's 11 guys on defense, if there's 11 guys on offense, pretty much all 11 think they're the best guy on that field.
I love it.
Now, getting them to work together, that's one thing. But I think because there were so many unknowns going into the season, when you have a guy like Devin Sherwood and he's proven, everyone's, no matter what, you're probably going to be okay. You're going to be successful. You're going to be good. With so many unproven guys that they always thought, hey, when's it our time? When's it our time? When's it our time? Well, now it's their time. And they were confident what they could get done individually, but it was about, hey, what can we accomplish as a team? And then early on in the season, when they're being doubted or they're seeing posts and all, and I think it fires them up a little bit and saying, like, okay.
Listen, I saw it firsthand. I was coaching, or I was teaching a class there.
Yeah, right.
And there was 4 Fitch guys in the middle, and they were waiting for me the entire time. And as soon as the teacher says, does anybody have any questions? 4 guys, hands up. Who makes your power rankings? I was like, oh, God.
Yeah.
But nobody else played Washington. Why are we getting hit for it? I love the spirit of your guys, because no matter who. I mean, yes, you're Austintown Fitch. You're one of the biggest schools in this entire area, but you also have that, like, underdog mentality every single week. How do you guys keep that up without keeping those egos in check?
That's a great question. It's one of those things where you have to make them see the bigger picture, and at times that's hard. At times, when we're fighting the battle of the power rankings, these are 14 to 18-year-old kids, and it's, hey, guys, like, there's a method to what they're doing here.
You're welcome.
Why are we feeding into that? Because
it doesn't matter.
Who we're going up against is a complete different animal. Division II, Region 5 is a monster. And then when you're looking at our schedule and you're playing teams from out of state, you're playing Canton McKinley, you're playing Massillon, Washington, it's that has to be our focus. Because if you want to roll around with everyone else, okay, when you go to see those teams and who they're playing, we're going to fall short. So it's focus on us and focus on our bigger goals. I think getting them to realize that and realize, actually who we are and our identity as a team has been that process. But I think they're figuring that out now that, like, there is bigger games. Like, local games will always be hyped up, but the truth is there's 3 Division II teams in our area. The only time we're going to get bigger schools are going to be finding them far away or bringing them in from out of state. Like, so yes, you see that, and I'm sitting over here with the Brookfield guys, and everyone's undefeated, or we want to play South Range, we want to play Brookfield. They're 14, 15-year-old kids. They don't understand it, but those teams have great seasons, and deservingly so. They deserve all the publicity that you guys are giving them because they're all great programs. But our kids, just the competitors that they are, they try to take everything personal and feed in locally. But the truth is, locally, we're a small school area, and we have a lot of really, really good small school teams that deserve the recognition they get, because those teams honestly deserve top 10 in the state, in their regions, and definitely in the state rankings.
And nobody's knocking on your door usually when it comes to that stuff.
Exactly. It's who's Akron, Hoban, Massillon.
They'll knock on the door.
Toledo Central.
Game I really want to bring up in this season before we let you go, Coach. That Week 8 game, one of the longest game in Fitch history, 4 overtime thriller in Wadsworth. It was a game where, looking at the team, it really seemed like every single player. You talked about, like, Don Perry having a part. Every single player seemed like they played their role. They knew they had a role in that game, and they executed it. They never felt like they were down when multiple times they could have been. What did you see from your team character-wise, maturity-wise, and mental toughness-wise out of that game? And do you think that experience was – obviously it's beneficial, but do you think it's crucial for them to experience that right before the playoffs like this?
Yeah, like 100%. And like, to touch on that mixed with what you're saying is – you're driving on that stretch. We drove an hour drive 3 times. Now, we educated the kids on what Massillon was going to be about, that stadium, we educate the kids on what to expect in that. And then right when you get there, you feel it. When you're driving to Wadsworth or Strongsville, these are Division I teams. They're big. Wadsworth is very good. It's hard to get the kids, like, revved up for this rivalry. You're taking the bus ride. It's tough to say, hey, this is going to be a fight. Now, the local teams that we play, our kids juiced up right away. That's they're ready to go. But driving up there, and then the game starts, and I think everything we went through there, they're a very stout defense, and they're very strong up front, right? Brian Robinson is playing basically on one leg, and we're limited on the defensive line at that time. And his fight, you go back and you see Davion Pritchard. Earlier in the game, he was giving up some short routes, getting beat. He comes back in the overtime and makes that pick. That whole game of Dan Evans trying to find ways to impact the game, special teams. He has the kick return right after they score. The adversity and the way the kids fought from being down and just finding multiple ways to win, I think in those games, how you say every week, right, we go over field goal block, extra point block. And you can imagine how hard our coaches are pushing to get the effort out of these kids. And they're, here we go again. It's Tuesday. We got to do this. Well, it shows up in overtime when we thought we were done. We blocked the kick. We practice, obviously, like every team, practice kick return every week. In all of our 3 years here, we haven't returned a kick. And here we go. They score. Instead of having our heads down, we come right back. Dan Evans takes it to the house. Like, those things all come into play, and then it gets the kids to buy into all the details. And I think that's good championship programs and teams, really focus on the details, and everything else around them come easy. So that game, I thought the fight and how we persevered and focused on after film and watched it. And our guys, they were physical. They were good. Our guys are getting double teamed and sent to the ground, and they're making plays. and then just to get back up and say, okay, I got to lean on someone else, or someone else has to make the play, and our adjustments. And doing that was pretty special, but it also let our guys know, we're never out. Until it's over, we're never done. And I saw that fight in Massillon. We never quit. And then that carried over to a win in Wadsworth. And that just shows the payoff of playing in those games and sometimes taking your lumps and getting back up and fighting and how you can impact the game. I think we learn from those times. And whether you guys can see it or not, and how the ball spread around, it's like you lose Jamel James on the first carry. It's like, okay, we talk about it every week. DJ Williams, you want 33 carries? Here's what 33 carries feels like. And he woke up the next day and said, 33 carries is a lot of carries. 33 carries is a lot of carries. But, just proud of the season our kids have had, proud of the way they fought. They accomplished a lot this year in the regular season. But like I told them, with that season you put together, we get the gift of having a whole nother season together. And that one's on us now. It can go as long as we want it to go. So there's no end date. It's on us. And that's what's exciting, to have this special season. And we have practice today, and you could tell they're geared up. They're ready to roll.
Well, hopefully the season's about 6 weeks long for you guys. We'd appreciate it from our family. Dude, thank you so much. As always,
you for having us,
you're the best. We love
we
following
really
you.
appreciate it.
You inspire us, my friend.
No.
You do.
I love it. I mean, I think our goals align in what I want for my kids in my program, and YSN happens at the same time, and it's just great. I mean, we're so thankful, to be partnered with you guys and the way you guys treat us, with Sam's wedge in weekly, and then having Ty actually having a voice of the Falcons. And how many times have I gotten texts, hey, is the game going to be streamed? And it's no worries. Yeah. Yes, their game is going to be streamed. Go to YSN. And our kids are thankful for it. They love the coverage. They love seeing their faces. You've created a monster, and I got to deal with it. But,
I know.
It is what it is.
Dude, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Good luck in the playoffs. We're rooting for you, brother.
Yep.
Be well.
Thank you, Coach.
TJ Parker from Fitch Football back after this on YSN.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update. Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
From on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
As fine as the eye can see, the finest hardwoods from the finest trees. Made for your home and within your means, Baird Brothers will help fulfill your dreams. Let life and light come shining through in quiet morns. And heavy traffic, too. Find your easy-to-afford fine hardwood floors and doors and more at BairdBrothers.com.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Saxon Club here for the YSN MVCA playoff preview show. We are joined by a guy that I admire so greatly because what not only he's done this year, but what he's done over the course of his career. Randy Clark from Brookfield. You guys 9-1 on the year. Let's start where I wish we had a time, 9 weeks ago to talk about this. Everybody said, why take on Ursuline? Why take? And I think the last 9 weeks have exposed why you test yourself early, because you guys have been playing the best football in the entire Valley. And it all started with playing one of the best teams in the entire Valley that was several divisions up. Why schedule an Ursuline in that situation, Coach?
Well, the main reason we knew we had a good team coming back, and I figured a good test at the beginning would let us know where we're at. If there was a year we thought we could be competitive with a team like Ursuline, I thought it was this year. But the outcome of the game really, like they say, sometimes you learn more from losses than you do from wins. We definitely did. I mean, we made major changes at personnel, position-wise, both sides of the ball, and I think that's what's helping us today.
I love your schedule. Both your conference and non-conference. How did this team prepare week after week after week? I mean, you've got playmakers everywhere, seemingly, and they line up. And I said it, and I guess I can say it because it's my company. You guys play like a bunch of pissed off Hornets each and every week. With it's you against the world. Is that what you see in your locker room?
Well, yeah, we see at practice. We see our kids are hungry. The senior class has been successful all their lives, and they do play pissed off.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't take much from me to get them riled up before the game. They're eager and they're ready to go, and they've got beat in the past, and a lot of stuff that they hold in that they let go on somebody else.
This has been a team too. I mean, you guys allowed 52 points first week, but you allowed 69 the next 9 weeks after that. I mean, defensively, you guys have played out of your minds too in a very tough conference as well. What have you seen from the defensive side that has allowed this team to really create offensive opportunities, and how good can this defense be going into this Division 6 Region 21 tournament?
Well, I believe we got two of the greatest linebackers around here right now. The way they're playing together with A.J. Bartlett and Caden Kurla, and then our team speed behind them and the strength in front of them is the key. But right now, our defense is playing very well. They run very well to the ball. We stress 8-9 hats to the ball every time. I mean, they get that. They love defense, and they love flying around.
As much as a goal is win the league and be 9-1, 10-0, this team is built for the playoffs. When you think about it, I mean, what's the conversation been like over the last couple of days when you guys obviously cemented and got the official invitation to the 2022 tournament?
Well, we met with the kids yesterday, and we told them that it's season number 2. We're attacking this like we would if we were starting all over. We're just right now. It's every week. You gotta play your best to continue. I mean, we can't afford to have a big spill up and expect to bounce back the next week. But our kids are ready for this challenge, and I think our group is ready to make the move.
I want to talk about Donovan Pawlowski a little bit. I mean, kid's a great game manager, it seems like, and whenever you need him to come up big, he's able to do so. Full of personalities like that, it seems like this season. How much easier has it been for you to coach guys like this that just seem like they're already leadership ready too, or they come from good homes and they're ready to kind of step in and take those roles for you?
Well, Donovan is, if right now if we're sitting here and there's some kind of competition, he would definitely want to win any kind of competition he's ever been in. Very competitive, great kid. Will do anything you tell him to do. If you tell him you need 3 yards, he'll know what he needs to do to get 3 yards. I mean, it's that easy. I mean, and it's nice. You don't always have those. He's got great athletic ability. He's having a phenomenal year. I think he's got close to 40 touchdowns now. He's doing such a nice job of spreading the ball around. And when it's his time to run, you don't have a problem with that either.
Kid's tough as nails, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's talk about this D6. I mean, this is a gauntlet. People talk about, and we just had TJ Parker on. Obviously, they've got a nice little run there at D2 of big teams. You guys have some incredible teams, and one of them being a team named Kirtland, who dropped down into your division this year. When you're looking, and I know the coach speak as we don't look ahead, but you kind of see them lurking in the shadows a little bit, waiting for whoever wants to take them. You talk about Donovan being one of the most competitive people you know. You guys, you want that. You want that Kirtland game, and you want to upset the world and show them what Brookfield's made of, no?
Yes, I don't think Kirtland being, as everybody talks about him, is really going to bother my kids. My kids would play against anybody.
Yeah.
We played Kirtland in 2015 in the regional semifinals. I don't know if anybody knew that. We got beat 27-20. The big thing back then was you can't get the ball off them. I mean, they control the ball so much, but I'm telling you, our kids don't. I mean, you say Kirtland, they'll just say okay, and they're going to play. I mean, they would love to have that opportunity.
I love it.
For them to have that opportunity, you guys do have to get through Pie Valley first, too. And looking ahead to Week 11 in this first round of the playoffs, you guys are at least going to bring them into Brookfield. First and foremost, how important is it to have a game in Brookfield for that community? Second off, what are you guys going to need to do to take care of business as usual against Pie Valley?
Well, to have a game at home is going to be great for the community and the school system. You're exactly right. It's been a long time since we've had one of them, Week 11 home. But Pie Valley, we watched the film on them today. They're a local, pretty much a local team that we've never played, I don't believe so. Our kids, like we said earlier, I mean, it don't matter. You can put the Browns out there; they're gonna think they can go out there and win. So I mean, we're gonna coach this week like we coach every week. I mean, they're gonna be ready, they're gonna be prepared, and and the kids are gonna be hungry.
Coach, we're fans. We're rooting for you. Hopefully you get to take that Kirtland step, but obviously every great journey begins with that first step, which with this week, Pie Valley. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
There he goes, Coach Randy Clark of Brookfield, back after this on your Sports Network.
Locally owned and operated, Shealy's relaxed shopping experience means browsing and lounging is always encouraged.
Find Flex Deal and more at Shealy's Furniture and Appliance, because the best things in life happen at home.
How lucky are we to have not one, but two 18-hole Donald Ross Championship golf courses right here in our backyards. Mill Creek Golf Course was selected by Golf Week as one of America's 30 best municipal courses, continuing to challenge golfers of all levels and featuring golf instruction by PGA professionals, a state-of-the-art practice range, a PGA of America recognized pro shop, kids programs, and a relaxing grill room for a memorable golf experience. For more information or to schedule a tee time, visit millcreekmetroparks.org.
Fall is in the air. The kids are back to school, crowds are cheering for the home team, and Myers Family Insurance is prepped for another crazy Medicare season. Every year there's changes, some big, some small, so it's important to have a conversation to make sure your plan is going to meet your expectations for the coming year. Give our team a call today to schedule your annual review.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance or visit us on the web. Check us out online at myersfamilyins.com.
Going from mindful to mindful sometimes requires a helping, healing hand. Insight Clinical Counseling and Wellness offers a continuum of mental health and wellness care. At Insight, we're changing the way you receive counseling and wellness services with experienced licensed clinicians and expertly trained wellness staff. With 4 locations in Mahoning and Columbiana County, along with telehealth services, Insight offers clients quick access to care when they need it. Transform your mental health and wellness at Insight Clinical Counseling and Wellness.
And here we go. One last one for the road, and we could not close it up with anybody better. Here he is, Mike Moser, the Garfield football head coach. Coach, the G-Men, you guys are so fun. We were just telling you offline here. You're so fun to watch. I mean, playing in a phone booth, you make teams play your game as opposed to the other way around. It's got to be good for you. You know, the buy-in that you've had in that community has been phenomenal. We came out last year, and the hospitality is great, but the personalities are even more true. What's it like to coach this team?
Well, thanks. First of all, this has been a real fun year. These guys work really hard every single day. They buy into what we're doing. They're humble. They're not, they're not selfish. It's been a fun group. They love the stuff we do, and we love coaching them. So we're going to try to keep this thing going as long as we can.
When we looked at it last year, we kind of talked about your senior class and the dent they would leave. But this year's seniors and this year's team kind of stepped up to the task and said, "Hey, that's great. We'll honor the memories of having those teammates, but we got to write our own legacy now."
No, you're right, and that's we talked a lot about that in the off season. We talked about the way to honor those guys is to keep the program rolling. We always talk as that we're not one guy, we're not 3 guys, we're 50 guys, and the way you prove that is you go out and you play well once all those guys are gone. So it's a credit to the we have a small senior class this year, but it's a credit to what they've done and the way they've held it together.
pair of 8 and 2 teams matching up with the 8-9 seed, you guys being the 9 seed. You're going on the road to face Conneaut. And then we've seen Conneaut a few times this year. They're a solid football team.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are a solid football team, of course, as well. What are the things you need to focus on and the team of the G-men need to focus on to come out on the road victorious in this 8-9 matchup?
Yeah, no, I got you. I think we're not going to change. We're what we are. So it's a little different when you see teams that you haven't really seen in the past, and you're not really familiar with a lot of the teams that they've played when you're watching on tape. So the keys for us will be what they always are. We have to play our game. We got to stay ahead of the chains, be physical. They got some really skilled guys. We're going to have to clean up some stuff in the secondary. And when you get into the playoffs, it's about turnovers, it's about penalties, and it's about cashing in on opportunities when you get them.
This D5 region is what I would consider nightmare for every team. It's going to be a dogfight just to get it. When you win region, you knew you did something. So I don't want to say you basically won state, but you basically won state at that point. Talk about when you're talking to your team about what lies ahead, week 11, week 12, week 13. What do you talk about?
Well, I know it's coach speak, but the one thing we're real big on is this week.
1 week at a time.
Right. And I know every coach says that, but I bet you if you ask our kids, they probably don't even know what's after this week.
That's awesome, though.
That's just the way we've kind of approached it all year. You get the schedule at the beginning of the year, and there's certain games that you look at, and they catch your eye. But you got to stay focused on because there is no next week if you don't win this week. So we're going to be all on Conneaut this week, and we're going to worry about that one.
One of the things that I'm really interested in, the first time I've asked it tonight, is you guys have the luxury, I think it's a luxury, of staying on Fridays. Even, you keep playing on Fridays. Is that an advantage for your guys?
Yeah, I think so. In the past when we've had games on Saturdays and, just kick everything back one day during the week, or what do you do? And then, I never like sitting around all day on Saturday and not playing until Saturday night. It takes forever to get there. So I'd rather stay on Fridays, and I'm sure our kids would too.
I mean, instead of looking ahead, let's look back at the regular season real quick, because I think every coach wants to look at the growing points of growth from weeks 1 through 10. And in just the brief, 10 weeks that we have with this year's edition of the G-Men, what is the biggest growing points you've seen from this team from weeks 1 until right now before the playoffs?
Well, I thought the JFK week, we came up 1 point short, at the end, but we played really well that night. And we competed against a really good team. I thought we took some big steps that week. And sometimes those are the times defeats, give you the best opportunity to learn. We've lost 2 games this year, both the teams that are 9-1, and both games that we were in. So as a coach, you want to make sure you're playing better in week 10 than you were in week 5 and week 3. And we're doing those things. So I would say probably point to that loss is probably the turning point for us.
How much film have you been able to watch on Conneaut already and get your eyes on?
Well, a bunch, just like I'm sure they've watched a bunch of us, and I know, Coach Dobrin up there. I know the program he runs, and he's a good guy and a good coach. A lot of some similar concepts to some things that we've seen in the past, so there won't be any wholesale changes. But watched enough, I can tell you. I can guarantee you that.
Doesn't shock me.
Right, and there'll be more this week that we'll watch too. But yeah.
I mean, it's a team full of just like great personalities, great leaders, multi-sport athletes across the board, it seems like, too. When you have to deal with kids that are so actively involved in other sports, do you find it as a challenge to keep them focused on the now, right now, as you've been able to do so successfully in the last few years?
Yeah, not really. I'm a big play everything guy, get in every sport. I mean, Keegan Sell's a great football player. He's a great wrestler. Jesse Grace is a great football player. He's a great discus and shot kid. We have multi-sport kids. I want them to be multi-sport kids. If they're not, then they'll be in the weight room with us. But our kids are real good at, whatever sport they're in is the one that they're playing. My daughter was a 3-sport, girl in high school as well. And she was real good at it. It's volleyball season, and then it's basketball season, and then it's softball season. And I'm not into specializing, I guess, with kids. Do it all. You're only here once, so do it all.
One of the things we learned very quickly when Garfield joined YSN was the community support that you get. As one of our last questions, talk about what you're going to need moving forward in the playoffs from this community, this Garrettsville and Garfield community to get you where you want to go.
Yeah, just a continued support, supporting the kids, supporting the staff, the same stuff we've done all year, right? So just keep doing what we're doing.
Love it.
Biggest thing in conference too is you look at the conference play. You want that conference play to get you prepared. This is also another new thing. You're getting newly acclimated the last couple of years with the MVAC grade division. How fitting do you think this division has been for you? This conference has been for you in preparing you for
it's good.
playoffs?
We see a lot of different stuff. We see power run teams. We see spread teams. We see a lot of speed. We see some great coaching. There's some great coaching in this league. We see some programs with some tradition and some history. I think it puts you in a spot when you get in the playoffs, you feel like you can match up with people, because of what you see week in and week out. Plus the non-league schedule of playing Lakeviews and playing JFKs and things like that.
Coach Mosier, we appreciate you so much for hanging around.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Always one of our favorite to hang out with,
thank you,
and best of luck in the playoffs, my friend.
Thank you.
We'll be back to wrap things up right after this on your sports network.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Why choose local? Because you live here, work here, learn here, relax here, and celebrate here. 21 WFMJ is our Valley's only locally owned TV station, and our focus is local. Other TV stations don't have that same focus, as their owners are somewhere else. But 21 WFMJ is rooted in the Valley. Local people making decisions that affect your life, right here where you live.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Putting a bow on this one. It's been about 2 hours. We've got 8 or 9 coaches that have so graciously brought themselves and talked about their teams here this evening prior to the playoffs. Ty, when you look back, I mean, from when we started with Coach Pavlansky about 2 hours ago till the time that Coach Mosier, was our last interview and talked, about his team, I've learned a lot about not only the teams, but what to expect. And I feel like every coach is calm. We didn't have any coach that was kind of jittering or anything like that or very anxious. So when you look at this opportunity, are there games out there? And I know for a fact you're going to say yes to this. Are there games that you're looking forward to this week that kind of have your eyebrow peaked up in the air and saying, oh, this might be one where people aren't expecting the outcome?
One I'm looking at right now, and I think it has great storyline in it, Poland versus Jefferson round 2. I mean, we talked with Coach Tom Pavlansky a little bit, and you want to talk about Jefferson going into Poland, ruining their senior night. I mean, great storyline. You have a chance to redeem for Poland all those seniors too, a redemption shot for all those seniors going in to Jefferson's house now. Now you can get a little bit of revenge. I think that has a great storyline going into it. But for the Falcons, and from what we heard from Coach Hanna before the season, he wanted to compete back into this NE8. He wanted to get those wins against the NE8. Was able to do so against Poland. Has a chance to do so again in the postseason.
Yeah, the legacy will live on. It could be the last game for the NE8 era for Jefferson, or they could live on and keep flying. So we'll see how this goes. I that's why picks are so fun this part of the year, because you just never know. You never know. And playing a team week 9 and playing a team week 11, you'd imagine they look the same, But at the same time, there's different kind of tips and tricks that you're going to see from that film the first time around. I'm looking forward to, Mike Mosier, the last one we had, I'm looking forward to that Conneaut and Garfield game, because anytime you get an 8-9, it's a dogfight.
Everything
right?
out the window.
Everything's out the window. Throw the sink out the window too. So I'm looking forward to that. We are going to have, as it's scheduled now, how many games do we look like we're having?
I think it's 22 is when I checked.
Something like that.
We're
Okay,
in the
22.
20th range. Yeah.
So keep an eye on that. We'll have updates throughout the week on YSN Live. And just so you're aware, just so it's on the record, now we turn over to the playoff system, which the OHSAA charges us a fee, mandated fee that we graciously will pay for, but we need your help with the playoff pay-per-view system that we typically do as we move forward in the football postseason, the basketball postseason. We have adopted the playoff pay-per-view. So it is going to be $9.99, as it has been for the last, 3 years? This will be the third year for it. And you will get every single game on that particular night. So all the games on Friday, week 11, week 12, and then they'll split, and it'll be Friday and Saturday. So you'll have to pay the $9.99 for one, $9.99 for the other. However, we make it worth your money because we always have more than usually one game that you can pay for, which is typically less than the cost of a ticket to go.
I was just talking with Quincy over there, and he gave us the confirmation 24 games going to be on the network this weekend. So at $9.99, you're looking at about 42 cents a game. And I don't think there's a football game out there that you're getting into for 42 cents. So, it's a great deal. If you can't make it out Friday night, this is the place to be.
We certainly want you to support it, but don't forget, for that $9.99, you can go to a game and watch the other 23 right on your phone or your device. So we want to make sure that's out there. And of course, we will be at all 24 of those games as long as there is a seat and a chip and a chair, as my buddy Andy Hake always says. We will be there. So for Ty Bartell, my name's DJ Yoakley, Quinn Pushkar as well. We want to thank the MVCA certainly for the invite here tonight. I want to thank our humble host, the Saxon Club, and Bellaria Pizza for sponsoring the food tonight. That's going to do it for tonight. Tune in to all of our shows tomorrow starting at noon on YSN. Good night, everybody. YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of your sports network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.